What's up, guys? HC19. We are out here with your boy. Can you please introduce yourself and let us know what you did this weekend?
Yes, sir. My name is Marcus Hayden. Some of you guys might better know me as Metaphos on YouTube. And I top-8'd YCS Houston Ultimate Time Wizard event.
Awesome. Congrats on that. That's another nice thing to have under your belt. Got any shout-outs for people?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to my wife, Isabella, because the deck choice I made, I ultimately left it up to her what deck to play, and she told me to play this. Secondly, shout out to Chili's chat, because all those guys helped me test, and they're all super supportive. And Chicago as a whole is just the best Yu-Gi-Oh area, especially for Ultimate Time Wizard. And the biggest shout out, well, I guess I gotta shout out Eric Shen specifically first, because my list is very inspired by some of the things he told me. And then biggest shout out to Eric Chai over here for winning the day 2 giant card. Got himself an ulti Gazaris, and he has been way overdue. So, but yeah, enough yapping. You guys probably know what deck I'm on. 3 Sirocco, 3 Vayu, 1 Gale. Doesn't change. I mean, yeah, it's Vayu deck. The graveyard cards. This is like a top 5 card in the deck. I can't believe there's a point in time they didn't play this. But yeah, clearly you have to. Trooper. I mean, yeah. 3 Raikou, 2 Hamster. I'm a big believer in just like maxing the amount of lights you can see as well, being able to mill. This deck, like as long as you force the game to go on and you resolve multiple mills, you'll eventually just kind of steamroll and take over the game. And you're doing it at like the same tempo as like most decks in this format play. So it's just the really fast decks that can like deal with this while it's set are the only really scary ones. But yeah, that's why I like 2 a lot. Got 2 Arma, 2 Greffer. Honestly, I'm considering playing a 3rd Arma. I just like that every time I see this card in my opening hand, I can kind of pair it with something else in order to just play the game. So there's a lot of games where I'll like set a trap and pass because I actually just can't really play. That happened a whole lot this weekend. So yeah, definitely consideration for that. 1 Gores, 2 Caius, Sork, and Dad. Caius was pretty mid for me most of the tournament. It was specifically good against the other Hamster Raikou decks, but outside of that, I wasn't a big fan of it. A lot of games where it's dead in my hand early, and then like I'm like praying that the monster I put on board is gonna stick. Yeah, I didn't draw Dad a whole lot. Sork was pretty good for me though. I drew that a couple times, but yeah, like that. 1 Allure, 1 Charge, 1 Rhoda. Just digs in the deck for starter cards and very versatile. Heavy, MST, not changing that. Brain, it's like one of the best cards in the freaking game. And this is the other best spell in this deck. If I draw this and just any way to play the game, like it's really hard to lose. Dust Shoot, Return, probably best 2 traps in this format maybe, I don't know. And then, you know, removal cards to really just protect your board or like punish people for going nuclear. And then I also do the 2 DDV. No surprise, I'm just playing Eric Shen's 41. But you got to keep you guys tuned into watching the match, and I'll give you some of my thoughts on some of these cards. So
yeah, subscribe to Metaphos.
Yes, sir, ski. The side I did have some qualms with. This was fine, though. I already think Black Wings is like mildly favorable. So I can imagine myself going down to 2, but 3's fine. I didn't play any Black Wings this weekend, so maybe I just negative experience with it because it didn't really come in except GBs. But
I mean, I would think it's like against Black Wings, like the games you struggle against, there's like the ones that they have Whirlwind, right. And getting rid of the Whirlwind is very important in those specific games.
Yeah, but drawing like multiples can be really weird, especially if your opponent's like playing Draw Traps and Icarus and like because if I'm only committing 1 card at a time, I'm like having to commit like Raikous and Hamsters and stuff. And then I'm basically just praying for them to attack and like put cards down. And if they like, and I don't want, because Blackwing's such a reactive deck, I don't want them to accumulate cards because that's how I get in a lot of trouble. So this was the best side deck card by far. This card's crazy versus like 75% of the meta. I almost want to main at least 1, but the decks it's bad against, it's really bad against. So 1 Judgment. Yeah, it was good. I drew it like 2 or 3 times, and it was fine in the spots I had it. One of them was in top cut against RJ, and I was attempting to, I mean, really it was like a 50-50 after this resolved on his Caius that I might take the game just from sheer, aggression. But yeah, I got punished by Mirror Force, so that was sweet. 1 Minecon, yeah, I like this a lot. I have a really cool play earlier. My opponent dust shooted me and saw a Raikou, and he was like telling really hard that he might have DDV. So I set Necrogardna, he mind cons it, takes the Necrogardna, passes back to me, still doesn't shotgun DDV, so I tribute for Caius over it, and then he uses it, but like it allowed me to be in the game just because he didn't shotgun it, and I also punished him by losing a mind con. So it's really good when it works, but yeah, it can work negatively against certain people, I guess. Maybe it's just because I didn't play against like any plant or like boards that go wide where this card was crazy, but every time I drew it, I just wish I didn't have it. This card is great. Honestly, this is like the outside of oppression is probably next best side deck card. It's just really good when you have to take out hamsters. It also allows you to have a larger light count. Yeah, definitely overperformed. I had some really cute plays with this in Chimera Tech in the tournament as well. Kind of just a necessity. Don't really like this card, but like, yeah, against the Omega combo like Forgs and stuff, you just kind of have to play it. So 2 Dyna, I can imagine cutting down a 1 on these, because like the issue with Dyna, it's good when you're the aggressor and then you can stick this. But the issue is a lot of times you make an aggressive push, that's meaningful, you have to normal summon first. So then you're waiting a whole turn and it's like they have to not crack your board. I guess the set effect against some decks is really good, but yeah, I don't know if I'd play 2 going forward. And then the third Greffer, it's kind of just like a catch-22. You just have to play in a lot of decks. It's not like actually very good playing third, but it's just better than a lot of other cards. It's kind of like you're versatile when you have cards that suck versus people. This comes in, especially going second. Yeah, I'd have to experiment with it more.
Do you find yourself, when you side the Greffer in it, do you go down on an Armageddon Knight to do that?
No. I keep it, like I said earlier, I would play 3 Arma if I could, and it made sense. But of course, shout out Lisa and Blackpink. And then for the extra deck,
why do you have those?
because my good friend Kevin Wu gave them to me.
Kevin Wu, the GOAT! Wait, where are you? Why are you hiding?
And then for the extra deck, we got 2, third never came up for me, 2 Armor Master, third never came up for me, and the one of this. Because your deck's so aggressive, like it's only in like weird grind games that it might come up, but like you have to have very awkward hands, and your opponent has to play in a very particular way for it to really ever matter. So yeah, I think it's fine. And then we have Goyo, Brio. I guess I should have done these first. Armory and Ally. Made these a few times. This was the most clutch, like actual synchro in my deck all weekend. I played a Glad Beast player where I'm down infinite cards. He had a live Secutor, a Stardust because I mirror forced him and he had Starlight Road, and a what's the big guy's name? Herc. And I was like, I'm so cooked. I draw Armor Knight for turn, normal, don't plague. I was like, and he has 1 back row, 2 in hand. I was like, anything? He's like, no. Go stack for plague. He's like, okay. I dump like 2 weenies and a Gores, bounce all of his monsters, and I just punch with this, and I set a Deep Prison with nothing else. And then for 5 turns in a row, he just sets a monster, and I just bounce every card I draw with Brio into him. And then if he ever drew like a Wabaku or something to attack, I did have the Deep Prison. So yeah, it soloed game 1 against that GB player. And then, yeah, game 2, I also dropped it again with the Stardust, and yeah, he couldn't win, so. Really good there. The 1 Black Rose, I think I had 1 time where it came up where I actually nuked the board after a return. I only resolved return twice though this event. And then I also made it hard once just to leave on board, which was weird, but yeah, I guess that came up. Colossal really comes up for like plants or Colossal Armory plays, or when you just like know your opponent doesn't have traps and you can like leave it so you don't die if you have like good follow-up. Stardust probably got made most out of the 8s. Made that once. This got made the second most out of the 8s because your deck's so aggressive and you can like push through boards. But like a lot of times you'll make Brio or you'll make like Drop Dad and it won't be a necessity. And then the 1 Chimera Tech. Yeah, this was really good with the Syrdras. Wouldn't change that. List was pretty sweet. Started off 7-0, played Dirk in the last round. I missed a lethal opportunity for Colossal Armory, but it wasn't a game that didn't matter. And yeah, good for him. He's a really good player. He tops a couple of these as well. I know I shouted out Eric, but also shout out RJ for getting top 4. He cooked me in top 8. So, but yeah, I appreciate all you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for HT19. And while you're at it, head over to my channel, Metaphos, and do the same.
Awesome, thank you very much. But one quick question I had, you also topped Orlando with Black Wings.
I did.
How did you like the transition from Black Wings to Vayu this time?
Yeah, they play very differently. Black Wings is a more reactive deck where you're holding your cards and like waiting for your opponent to do things, playing to your traps. And then you want to like kind of like just whittle until the game's kind of short, and then you're summoning like Blizzard or like a Shura into something, or even like a Whirlwind play. Whereas this deck's way more proactive. Like I'm the one who like, I'm setting a Raikou, you either have to play into it, or I'm gonna start pressing aggression every turn with like Arbonites, Greffers, stuff like that. And then it could kind of puts them on the back foot. Yeah, so I like it a lot. Definitely a very different playstyle. Definitely not 100% at this deck. A lot to learn still for myself, so we'll see where I'm at come Nationals.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.